Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to this discussion, this discourse on personality and competency. Personality and competency. Last time we had a shocking guest appearance. We had a shocking guest appearance of a witness standing in a witness box, saying something, telling a story, and then asking the jury, the lawyers, the judiciary, do you believe it? So we understand. So we understand that what it is has two phases. It is it? It is it? It is it? It is it? So whether you like it or not, whether you like it or not, seriously, very seriously, almost without a fail, you will be following a scientific path. You'll be following a scientific path. The word science hurts many people. But if you're pronouncing the word properly, science, no, science, if you pronounce it properly, you're already quite scientific. Because you're going by the rule, the task, and the method of creating a right pronunciation for every two alphabets that come together, or sometimes every single alphabet that comes together, or an alphabet and a vowel that comes together. You're already following science. So here is the science. Now, what is the science you're following? I tagged you as scientific. There is a default on the science. You have set a default for the science, and I've complimented you. So what it is? It is was your hypothesis. It is was your hypothesis, and is your testing your hypothesis. You're testing your hypothesis for emergence of a grand knowledge. A grand knowledge called theory. Grand knowledge called theory, succinctly also held as a postulate. Also held as a postulate. So children work on postulates, dads work on theories. Dad can't remember a postulate. Children can remember. But dad supposedly cannot understand things based on the postulate, so he carries theory. Small umbrella, bigger umbrella. A raincoat, umbrella. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we will now look at this whole problem very seriously, very methodically, very sequentially, and create models. I've already talked about models in my other series, discourse that's parallelly going, that is problem solving. But it'll be opportunity to repeat it in the context of personality. Model is a certain structure, a certain method, a certain way of plotting the data, by virtue of which you get something. I came across a young lady who was working as a management trainee, as an intern in my office, and she happened to tell me that she read an article about people trying to qualify why exactly few people are called beautiful and others are not. Why some people hold the status of being beautiful and others not so, not so beautiful, and probably some people way away from beauty. And the opposite side of balancing life. They are on the opposite side of balancing beauty. It's a fulcrum. Few poor people, few rich people, few bad people, a few bad people, few very good people, few dumb people, few dumb people, few scholars. So she said that there is a measurement on the nose and angles and varied references. And there is a research which is published which tells you why beauty has ultimately a very geometric understanding about life and the face, or the life in the face. That's a literary cover up. Life on the face. There's the emergent energy coming from all beautiful faces. If you recall good, if you can't go to that, stand before that beautiful face and see the kind of radiance, you look here and there, but still you want to look at that person only, that radiance, that appeal, that shine, the glory, and the joy, and a treat, and a happiness, and a music coming from that face. So that becomes a model. That becomes a model. So if you look at the gender, lady, probably, look at all the countries put together, you may not see more than 100 faces, all countries put together, or genetics put together, all the cultures put together. You may not see more than 100 faces of ladies who are in the category of being geometrically, psychologically, socially demarcated as beautiful. They have wonderful compositions, wonderful combinations, wonderful proportions. When I look at proportion, take a simple example. You're on screen and you like a certain face, and that face is expanded diagonally, because then you are taking the x-axis and y-axis, shifting the x-axis and y-axis, increasing x-axis and y-axis in the same proportion. That's why diagonally, very important. If you do it x-axis wise or y-axis wise, it will be a torture to the beauty. Hey, why do we do it? We do it because we have ignored few mathematical logic. So this figure becomes now this figure. The person will still look as beautiful as it is. That's a talk on ratio and proportions. Ratio and proportions. So the science is all beautiful people are like that. So if you look at beauty as, for a second, you look at beauty as a competency. The facial beauty, I'm just talking about facial beauty. Beauty is a very, very difficult proposition to handle all in one go. So we're just looking at the beauty face. And relate others' noses and ears and the cheek sizes and the cheek bloats and the cheek balloons and the chin and the sword like chin, okay, an arrow like chin, okay, a forehead profile, the eye profile. Then we got a model. We got a model of beauty. and then the color skin. Hmm. Then the skin texture. I'm looking at people appearing as they are. People appearing as they are. Not those people who hate to smile among public because the lines will break off their shell. They are in the shell and they don't want to break off out of that shell. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about natural beauty as they are, without any made up makeup, without any assistance of any color, any paint, any layer, any dust. We're looking at that kind of a natural persona and then compare it with people. Then you see, yeah, she is a Nigerian beauty, she is an Australian beauty, she is a Latin beauty, etc., and she is an Indian beauty, etc., etc. Same for men. Same for men. Different genetics, different countries, different colors. So you can say he's a Kenyan superstar, he's a West Indian superstar, he's an Argentine superstar, he is a North Europe superstar, so and so. So there's that model, and we will have to compare that with the model. But excuse me, we made one blunder. We made one blunder. But how can I talk MSc Mathematics when we are still in the preschool stage of discussion as far as personality and competency is concerned? How do I say an MSc Physics statement? How do I make an MSc Physics statement? Now, can I hope to tell a child who's trying to calculate 1 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1 and say the values are in dynamic state corresponding with the mathematical operation that it is so likely to be performed on? There's a doctor who looks at surgery when the patient is brought under and is given anesthesia and then something is done. There's a teacher who says, I'm a surgeon, who opens your skull, takes out a brain, do some fine needling with that, and bring you back to senses. That's my job every day. So surgeon is that surgeon is this surgeon, model is that model, this is also a model, beauty is beauty. But now we are looking at static part. When you look at photographs, when you look at a stand-up posture, we are only looking at a static part. But we're going to rely on a personality for dynamics, for actions, for operations, for integration, for association, for a lineage, for a partnership. We're going to associate a personality for all those welfare actions. We're going to do that. So how can you work on a static picture? I don't want to have a model in the office because she will not be standing like a model. She'll be operating a research, she'll be operating a table where she has to welcome guests, Say hello, hi, please be seated here. What can I do for you? Who do you want to meet? What's the business about? How's your business? She's going to do those dynamic roles, dear. So how do I give you a model, a statue? I can't. So I'm in a very precarious situation. I want to tell you a lot. But it will take time for me to say it in a manner that is acceptable, that becomes grounded. I sign off for this episode, hoping to bring this subject back with more vigor and more intellectual valor. See you again then.